Audio Jungle.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of Mexico News Network's Breaking News. Thank you for joining us. I am your host, Elisa Carballo, and we have a great show coming up for you guys right ahead. However, before we start, let me just quickly remind you where we are. We're in the beautiful heart of Riviera Maya in El Dorado Royal Spa Resort by Charisma. It's a wonderful day out, and I want to also inform you to stay always informed by logging onto our website 24/7, www.mexiconewsnetwork.com, and also follow us on social networks. You'll find us on Google+, Facebook, and Twitter as Mexico News Network. Now let's begin with today's main headline stories. The World Economic Forum in Latin America 2015 is set to begin. From May 6th to the 8th, the World Economic Forum will reflect upon the upcoming strategies for the economic and social development of countries across Latin America. However, with around 750 participants from more than 45 nations from 390 organizations, how can we keep track of all this information? Daunting as it may seem, there are 6 main personalities that are sure to steal the spotlight, seeing how they represent part of the values and goals that the World Economic Forum has established for this event. We present the co-chairs of the World Economic Forum on Latin America 2015. First and foremost, there is Carlos Brito, CEO of Anheuser-Busch InBev, the largest brewing company in the world, owning 200 international beer brands, including Grupo Modelo, which was acquired in the year 2013. Mr. Brito is known in the market for his aggressive cost reduction and operating efficiency strategies. However, he is also a man of detail, very committed to helping talented young people to reach their true career potential. Coming up, Angélica Fuentes Telles, a Mexican businesswoman who collaborates with different nonprofit organizations that work for the empowerment of women all over the world. She herself founded her very own foundation, the Angélica Fuentes Foundation in Mexico, that supports education and economic development for indigenous women and their communities in Mexico and all through Latin America. According to the Bill Clinton Foundation, she is one of the most influential women in Latin America. The third co-chair of the World Economic Forum on Latin America is Eduardo Leite, chairman of the executive committee of Baker & McKenzie, one of the world's top law firms in terms of revenue, markets, and international lawyer count. Seeing as his firm specializes in the energy sector, he is very much expected to make very strong statements regarding energy reforms as well as Latin American oil production. Mr. Leite believes that large-scale mergers between companies in this sector can be quite dangerous. Number 4, Ignacio Sanchez Galan, Chief Executive Officer of Iberdrola Spain. An engineer and doctor honoris causa, graduated from the University of Salamanca and the University of Edinburgh in Scotland. He leads one of the largest companies dedicated to the production, distribution, and energy marketing. His opinion, as well as knowledge, make it only natural that he contribute his insights on clean energy development as well as sustainability in Latin America. And the second Mexican on the co-chair listing is Carlos Slim Domit, chairman for América Móvil Mexico and the son of the richest man of the world, Carlos Slim Elu. His ultimate bet on the digital music distribution with Claro Música has put Slim Domit on the eye of the Mexican business sector. One of the most anticipated attendances will be Joseph Stiglitz, professor of the School of International and Public Affairs at Columbia University and Nobel Economics Prize winner for his innovating research about screening a technique used by one of the economic agents to extract otherwise private information. His grand theories about government intervention and his critical perspectives on globalization may provide a refreshing change from the discussions about the economic development of the entire Latin America. In other news, the Mexican government has forecasted an estimated 3.2% to 4.2% rate of growth in the economy by 2015. This based on figures from January this year, when the economy went through an overall 2.6% of growth when compared to the same month of 2014. As stated in an analysis by Forbes magazine contributor Nathaniel Parrish Flannery, January 2015 yielded very positive numbers, an upside in light of the more disappointing rates of growth registered in 2013 and 2014. This may be read as a possible resurfacing of the Mexican economy following the growing impulse it got by the end of 2014, as stated by a report from Spanish economic analysis firm Focus Economic, which cites that the construction and manufacturing sectors compensating for the inferior performance of the mining sector in the last quarter of 2014. Economic data on January 2015 from Mexico's National Institute of Statistics and Geography, INEGI, indicate that the highest economic increase was in the primary sector, with a 13.4% in comparison to the same month last year. This was followed by the tertiary activities with a 3.1% increase, and finally, secondary activities with a 0.8% increase. Now, all this cited by Flannery, INEGI's numbers also point to the Mexican construction sector growth being inferior to that of the food and beverage service sectors. Mr. Luis Robles Miaja, chief of the Mexican Banking Association, stated during a banking conference in late March that the country has an opportunity to achieve dynamic and sustainable growth and, with it, the levels of development and well-being we all desire. The Mexican government's forecast coincides with the expectations published by Focus Economic, which is of a 3.0% rate of growth only for this year, 2015. And in other news, Mexico spans over an ample economic sectors. Its exports are led by shipping oil and fuel, electronics, agricultural products, vehicles, and spare parts. This last one, exporting cars and spare parts, has shown tremendous growth, becoming the key player in the automotive industry in Mexico. 400 years ago, the San Juan Bautista ship sailed from Japan. The samurai Tsunaga Hasekura was on board, who was commanded to begin a journey to establish a direct trade agreement between Japan and Mexico. In commemoration of the Hasekura mission and thanks to the excellent business relationship between both nations, Japanese companies have decided to increase their investment in Mexico. The automotive industry in the nation is in a thriving and growing time. According to figures released by the Mexican Association of the Automotive Mexico, Mexico sold almost 2 million vehicles in the world, a historical figure that broke 2013 record sales. Now, these numbers are impressive just on their own. When Japanese companies saw the great potential of the Mexican automotive industry, they decided to increase their investments in the country. Nissan Motors, for instance, a leading investor in Mexico, made a market estimate that stated that the Mexican automotive industry will grow 24.8%, as stated by Hiroyuki Ishige, president of Japan's Foreign Trade Organization. Francisco Gonzalez, director of ProMexico, has revealed that Mazda, Honda, Nissan, and Toyota have suggested very interesting proposals. If they are approved, it would mean more than $5 billion investment cash flows into Mexico. Among the offers, the one that created more expectation is Hino's Trucks, which is a company belonging to the Toyota Group, because it wants to put a brand new assembly plant in Silao in the state of Guanajuato. Even though the proposal is still under planning, Koji Ishimatsu, president of Mitsui Mexico, said that it is almost a positive action. The construction of a new plant will be introduced in Guanajuato because it is a great business opportunity for Mexico as well as Japan. All these new ideas for Japanese investments could mean that Mexico would finally have the opportunity to overcome Brazil as the biggest producer of vehicles at a worldwide level. Now, since the beginning of civilization on Earth, mankind has always tried to control the forces of nature for its very own benefit, with the intention of simplifying daily labors as well as creating adequate conditions which allow them to adapt to practically any environment. Now, together with innovation as well as progress, large metropolis reflected certain issues as well as problems, such as the deterioration of the environment or the shortage of natural resources, which raised the urgent need of pointing efforts toward the creation of a new kind of energy that would not impact the ecosystems. Day after day, researchers from all over the world seek new types of energy that allow a cleaner world as they face the challenge of preserving the comforts of everyday life. With this in mind, the European Photovoltaic Industry Association, the EPIA, locates Mexico as part of what they call the Sun Belt, which means this is one of the countries with the highest sun potential, which allows generating high amounts of energy for self-sufficiency as well as exportation. One of Mexico's main characteristics is the diversity of ecosystems from one region to the other. This has allowed making the most of the weather conditions with alternative energy projects, such as Oaxaca's case, where there are plans to develop wind farms. This way, wind power will help generating clean energy in very large amounts. This new way of thinking has been spread in all directions, and an example of it is the current proposal to apply a green tax. This is to companies that generate a high pollution rate. With an approximate investment of $4,000 million, Rubenius, a company native from Dubai, United Arab Emirates, unveiled their great interest to contribute to the upcoming years to develop an electric energy bank in the city of Mexicali in the state of Baja California. In addition to the creation of 800 direct jobs, a system of storage and regulation of energy generated by sustainable processes will be installed as well as operated. This system will be capable of meeting the needs of entire cities. According to ProMéxico, it is expected by the year 2017, 10% of the energy produced in the country comes only from private renewable resources. Incredible. Now don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more information on Mexico, the world of science, technology, and more after these few messages.